Welcome to the winter concert, Home is Where the Heart Is, of Skagit Valley Chorale. My name is Ruth Backlund, and I'm the president of the chorale, and I speak for everyone here when I say we are filled with joy to be able to sing together in person. And there's thanks to a lot of people and a lot of places, Salem Lutheran for this beautiful hall, our wonderful tech team who are working their magic right now as I'm talking, the whole idea of vaccinations, having our masks, but most of all, we want to thank our wonderful artistic director, Dr. Adam Burdick. Let's welcome him in.
Thank you, Ruth. It is a pleasure to be here together singing. And I also want to introduce our accompanist, Peter Garbes. So we'd like to begin with a song that's been really meaningful in many ways for us over the last 2 years. It's called Sing On. It's words and music by Lane Johnson. It was our first session choir project last year. Many of our members recorded their parts. We put them together and made it one of the first songs that we presented in our Christmas concert last year. And now we get to sing it together, and it's a real pleasure. So here is Sing On.
Sometimes when I chance catch the sun,
I'm going to assume you've been applauding, so thank you. When planning this music in June for this concert, I had to take into account, like lots of my colleagues all around the world, a situation that was flexible. And so music that I chose needed to be possible to be rehearsed on Zoom, or outdoors, or indoors. It needed to be possible to record it separately at home, like we've been doing for the last year, or maybe in an outdoor performance, a very brief outdoor performance, or maybe indoors at McIntyre Hall, or maybe indoors in another situation. So the music that we're doing has all those possibilities wrapped inside it. And I'm happy to say that we were able to make use of the music in this concert setting. And some of the pieces that I chose needed to be comfort music, intended to be music that we could easily assimilate and feel good about singing, even if it was 40 degrees and we were outside and it was cold, which is true. So the next song we're doing is called Hold Me, Rock Me. It's a piece by Brian Tate, a composer from Vancouver, BC. And it's a piece that, well, at least it was intended to be comfort music, but what we've discovered is that when you're singing in a mask, not everything is quite as comfortable. So we're still working on that part, and we're still learning about how to make the best uses of the masks that we have, and to be able to breathe properly in them and project well in them. So this is Hold Me, Rock Me by Brian Tate.
Rock
By now, you in the audience watching have probably noticed some strange things about this chorale concert, like really heavy jackets among the singers. We figure with the wind chill, it's probably in the 30s back in the back row there. So our set of COVID protocols represents much study and discussion on the part of the board and myself. We were pleased our Skagit County Public Health contact noted that our protocols offer multiple layers of protection against COVID, which helped us to have confidence to return to in-person rehearsals. In October, we returned to in-person rehearsals outdoors at Centennial Elementary School in their covered play area. It was sheltered, but it was cold. And after 3 rehearsals, we were really happy to be able to come indoors here at Salem Lutheran Church. Our protocols are, we are vaccinated, we are masked, our chairs are distanced, as you can see. This is a huge room with an excellent HVA system. The doors are open in the back there, 2 sets of double doors, and that means it's cold. But the air quality in the room, which we measure with 2 CO2 monitors, is very nearly the same as the outdoor air. That means there's greatly reduced potential saturation of COVID particles if they were present in the room. It's hard, but it's worth it to be able to sing together again. So we want to go on to the next piece, which we also did a recording of this past spring. It's called Walden. And in the spring, we were joined by Dr. Michael Wheatley, the conductor of the Skagit Symphony, and several other violinists. And they played recorded parts for us, which I put together with our own parts, and we sang that piece that way. So once again, we're very happy to be able to sing it in person. This time, we're joined by our special guest, David Benson, the concertmaster of the Skagit Symphony. And we have our soprano soloist, Sheila Tunney, whose voice opens our recorded version from last spring. This is Walden, words and music by Carol Thomas Downing, arrangement by Dr. Loretta Notareski, used by her permission. So we'd like to go on to another piece of comfort music now, which is also by Brian Tate. And what I mean by when I say by comfort music in most contexts is it's got simple little parts that intertwine with each other, easily learned each of them, but having a nice final polyphonic continuity, which is just exciting to sing and enjoyable to sing together in person, as we have not been able to do. And then when we come to the part where we say, "Set my spirit free," it's so wonderfully homophonic. It's so wonderfully together that we get to enjoy that sound as well as the meaning of the words. So here is "Gather at the River" by Brian Tate.
Gather at the river,
So now we'd like to shift gears to Christmas and winter-themed music. First, we'll do the familiar carol, Ding Dong Merrily on High, arranged by Carolyn Jennings. And we'll follow up with Solstice Song, words and music by Jan Garrett, arranged by Larry Nickel of Cypress Publishing in Vancouver, BC. Solstice Song was one of the pieces that we did also last year in our concert. We recorded our parts individually, and then I put them together, and we presented that on Zoom last year. So you'll be familiar with it if you heard us then. But again, it's lovely to sing it together. So here are Ding Dong Merrily on High, and then followed by Solstice Song.
Ding dong,
we'd like to continue on with another Christmas-themed song. Maybe you know the animated film The Snowman. This song, Walking in the Air, takes place partway through that when the snowman and the little boy fly over the countryside and see all kinds of amazing things. It's a beautiful song by Howard David Blake, arranged by Audrey Snyder. So this is Walking in the Air. We have two more songs that we'd like to do for you. And the first one is actually a medley that my predecessor, Janet Hitt, had introduced the choir to some years ago, and it's been really fun to bring that back again. So that's called the, what is it called? It's called the Family Christmas Spectacular. But before I do that, I really want to point out again, I want to give thanks to our live stream dream team, Quinn, Nick, and Elisa, who are running the audio and video and making this all possible to come to you out there in the world. So many thanks to them for making this all possible. So this is, again, the Family Christmas Spectacular, Douglas Wagner. You say Wagner, I say Wagner. put it together. It's a medley. You're going to know some of the songs. Maybe one of them you might not know, and maybe it'll be a new favorite Christmas song of yours. It's called Winter, but I think you'll be able to identify the other songs. Maybe you'll even sing along in your homes. This is a family Christmas spectacular. You know, I did want to say one more thing about this piece. I imagine myself in June talking to this audience in McIntyre Hall when we performed for you there, which obviously we're not doing. And I imagined talking to the grandmothers in the audience, because what we sing at the beginning is, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. And I wanted to celebrate that, and that we would be able to be together in that way. We're not there yet, but we're going to be there, maybe next year. So, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house, grandfather's house, everybody's house we go next year.
Grandmother's house we go. Our horse was a way to
We would like to express our thanks once again to Salem Lutheran Church and Kat Clark and Jim Bowers for their help and their support, making this space possible and so welcoming for us. Also, I personally would like to thank the board members of the chorale who have been so incredibly supportive, diligent, studying hard, gracious to all of us and to me as we've been trying to figure out our way through this time. I'd like to thank all the volunteers, many people showing up on a regular basis to do the work, the schlepping of chairs, and all the other work that's necessary to make this happen. We would also like to thank those who've donated, and we would invite you to donate. We, of course, don't get ticket revenue from this concert since it's free. There is a Give Butter icon on our website, and you are welcome to donate to us. And we appreciate all of those donations. We'd like to finish with our traditional piece that we've been singing for about 30 years in the chorale. It's called Peace, Peace, and many of you have been in the audience with us when we sang it. And we often are in memory of members who have passed on and who sang it with us in the past. And we think of them, and we think of you. So, this is Peace, Peace, words and music by Rick and Sylvia Powell, arranged by Fred Bach, and Diane Ramsey is our accompanist. Thank you.